E-family, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, big hug, Borajes, and big welcome to E-family. This is a channel where we like to learn about music, listen to new music, discover new artists, and we're nice people, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys are here and you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram. efamilymedia is the name. I would really appreciate it. Also, hit the like on this video. It's very important. If you guys haven't checked out the RM video, you guys need to go ahead and check that out, which is going to be the one before this one. Absolute bangers. I was so impressed, and from now on, like I said, I'm not going to be saying how impressed I am by them, because I should already know they're about to drop some heat on us, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I'm going to be working on. But the next one we're going to be checking out is Sugar. So on YouTube, go to the post section. I posted something that I need you guys' help, your input. Add some songs in there. That way we could check out some music videos for the next one. And that's how we're going to end the rappers. And then we're going to move on to the singers and stuff like that. I'm super excited. I know that this is taking a while, but we're just doing this because, you know, it's a little hard to get the timings right with my wife and stuff. So little by little, we're going to get there. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for the patience. Thank you guys for all the love and support. She's been very thankful. By the way, you guys have been so sweet, so nice to her. I show her the comments all the time. She has the app too, but I show her the comments when I see them about you guys complimenting her or saying that she did a great job and things like that, you know? So I really appreciate you guys for that, man. You guys really make her day. I know she's a little shy on the camera, so she won't express that, but I'm gonna let you guys know she's very thankful for you guys, and you know, all of this, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. Today we're gonna be checking out to another video by Boracity magazine. This one is called "Is the HYBE Family a Thing?" So the reason I wanted to see this is because, as you guys know, we've been doing a little series where we go to the HYBE channel and we check out the random artists that we don't know, and we just give them a shot and check them out and see what other artists, what other groups HYBE is putting on. So I'm excited to check this out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Hopefully you guys like the new way that we're doing reactions, where the video is bigger, you know, that way we could all see it together.
In 2013, BTS debuted under the small South Korean label Big Hit Entertainment. At the time, the label was managing 4 other artists, but they were not even fully theirs. They were co-managed.
So Group 8, Group 2AM, Solo Junghee, Group Glam.
Managed by other bigger, more powerful labels.
Never mind. Okay, so with other labels. Let's see. Let's go back.
In 2013, BTS debuted under the small South Korean label Big Hit Entertainment. At the time, the label was managing 4 other artists, but they were not even fully theirs. They were co-managed by other bigger, more powerful labels. With time, these artists started disbanding or leaving the company one by one. Soon after, Big Hit Entertainment only had 2 artists, solo singer Lee and BTS.
Oof. That's crazy. They left the company because it was a smaller company. Now, looking at 2025 and how big it is and how exclusive it must be, because I did see that there was a post where they're taking in applications for, you know, new artists and stuff like that, and everybody was going crazy. It was all over my feed. Everybody was like, oh, Big Hit is gonna have, you know, like I don't know what it's called, but they're gonna have something where you can try out to be in a Big Hit.
As we know, BTS then became the biggest group in the world. They helped the label survive and transform from Big Hit Entertainment to HYBE Corporation, a South Korean multinational entertainment company that works as a record label for artists under other entertainment companies and as a talent agency or management company.
And just let me actually fix that. So I did say Big Hit, but I meant HYBE, that they were having a opening for artists.
A South Korean multinational entertainment company that works as a record label for artists under other entertainment companies and as a talent agency or management company for artists like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. But this apparent sudden massive success has made a lot of K-pop fans very confused, because in K-pop there were always 3 major labels known as the Big 3. There were other entertainment agencies agencies, but just like what happened with Big Hit and their groups, their success was not guaranteed. Only the big three were capable of producing real big groups. So since BTS broke the notion that the most popular group can only be from the big three, K-pop fans started naming Big Hit Entertainment and then HYBE as part of a new big four. Because how is it possible that the big three doesn't have the actual biggest group? No.
That is actually crazy. If you really think about it, we got Sony, we got, Columbia Records, we have all of these companies. Just imagine, let's say an indie company or a smaller company competing with the labels that have already been here for years and are been taking over. Like, that is crazy. Like, really think about
Big
that.
three,
That's
K-pop
crazy.
fans started naming Big Hit Entertainment and then
Big
HYBE as
four.
part of a new big four. Because how is it possible that the big three doesn't have the actual biggest group, not only in K-pop but in the world? It's simply impossible. This quick response of naming HYBE as part of a new big four may be comforting for K-pop fans, because the big three always sold the idea that no matter what, the big whatever has the biggest groups. It doesn't matter if the group doesn't have any music yet. These groups will have fans before their debut, before releasing any music, before we see them dance or sing, just because they are from the big three. This is how these labels have successfully tried for years to create a community of fans, not only for the groups signed to their labels, but also for their company. This type of identity K-pop artists have with their labels is very strong, stronger than in Western countries where most people don't know from which label their favorite artist is from. So
Facts. And that's very true, unless they say it. But usually here, they'll have their own record label that they build, as a so they'll be kind of like independent artists, and then they'll make their own record label, and then they'll try to sign some people in there, eventually. But it's never been like, oh, I'm from, Sony Records or something like that. That's not a thing out here.
a world where label identity and label families are strong, where does BTS stand? And does the family of HYBE artists exist? Some K-pop fans will probably say yes, because the big three and almost every other South Korean label have a strong family identity. But this doesn't take into consideration that HYBE is not even a label, and that BTS has very little in common artistically with other groups from their company. With the recent globalization of K-pop because of BTS's global success, it has become less and less acceptable to be a company stan. A company stan is someone who is a fan of a music label, or most artists part of a music label.
You know what? I've noticed that there's a lot of stans. I've been seeing it a lot in the comment section in these videos, actually. You guys been saying that you guys are either BTS stans or HYBE label stans. And it took me a while to really understand what that was, because I obviously know what a stan is, and that's when someone's like a big fan of someone, and it's like that person is my everything. And I only know that because of Eminem, because he made a song, something similar to that. But I was kind of intrigued by it, and I was like, that's pretty interesting, where people will ride for someone that much that that's all they listen to. Like, that's a question that I want to ask you guys, because I'm not going to lie. I listen to everything. I listen to anything from Nipsey Hussle to Kendrick Lamar, Young Drummer Boy, King Little G. I still listen to my rap stuff. But I also listen to rock stuff. I listen to country stuff. Like, I listen to a lot of different things. So I wouldn't consider myself a stan, because I do like different kinds of music. But right now in this journey, I guess you could say I'm a stan right now, because this is all I listen to at the moment. But I'm curious. Do you guys listen to anything else? Let me know, please. Oh, doesn't want to play. There we go.
In the case of the big three, YG and their artists are considered a family. SM is a town, JYP is a nation. This family idea is promoted by collaborations of activities between groups under the same label. Like I said, nowadays it's less common to be a self-proclaimed company stan, but the instant success and support of groups that just debuted are clear signs that company stans still exist. But instead of saying, I am a fan of this label, K-pop fans say phrases like, I like SM's sound.
And that is a little bit of a dubstep right there. And I haven't heard dubstep in a long time. Usually the dubstep I would listen to, it didn't have words, to be honest. Slowly becoming another trademark of S. So this is what it's becoming little by little, huh? Wow.
Or I like JYP groups, so I dislike JYP the least. Or YG is bad to their artists, but I like their noise music.
Oh, more like some techno vibes. I like the song.
I'm not kidding, these are real excuses you will see in K-pop spaces all the time. So company stands still
That's
exist
crazy.
because companies still try to make their groups have a common factor. And this factor works as an excuse for K-pop fans to support all the groups or the majority of groups under a K-pop label. This common factor can be a characteristic style of music, a way of dancing, or a
Wait, what did that say?
as an excuse for K-pop fans to support all the groups or the majority of groups under a K-pop label. This common
The bass slide. Oh, okay, so this is what some little facts.
factor can be a characteristic style of music, a way of dancing, or a common physical style. So when naming HYBE as part of a new Big Four, K-pop fans also try to find a common factor between HYBE artists that can make them a family.
Interesting. Even down to the choreography, huh? Wow. That's actually crazy.
However, although HYBE is very successful now, this company cannot be compared to the other labels part of the Big Three, because to start, HYBE is not a label. The way BTS impacted the music world has confused a lot of K-pop fans, because BTS broke the K-pop system in many ways. One of these is the way in which entertainment agencies work in South Korea. BTS debuted under the small label / entertainment company Big Hit Entertainment. This means that Big Hit used to manage everything when it comes to BTS, from the musical direction of a project to the distribution of their albums. But when BTS started gaining massive worldwide popularity, Big Hit became a big label / entertainment company. When this happened, Big Hit separated the label side from the corporate side. The corporate side was named HYBE, but the label Big Hit, which manages aspects like musical direction, never disappeared. The name just transformed into Big Hit Music. So all the artists part of Big Hit Entertainment, and by all I mean the two all artists part of Big Hit Entertainment and the new group TXT, which just debuted into
You guys have been telling me about TXT, and I believe we did check out one of their songs, and they're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
2019, stayed in Big Hit, now named Big Hit Music. Then HYBE started absorbing other small South Korean labels, some that already had other artists. Here starts the real confusion. HYBE's new labels started debuting new groups, and K-pop fans assume that these groups are under the same label as BTS, but they are not. BTS's label, Big Hit Music, only has 3 artists: BTS, TXT, and Ehyun. So why are Big Hit artists being mixed with other labels' artists when talking about the HYBE family? HYBE is a corporation, not a label. And unlike other label families, the artist part of HYBE Corporation don't share a common sound, look, or style of choreography. HYBE is an umbrella company that
Which is smart. Which is very smart the way they're doing it. They're really categorizing everything in different ways, and they're hitting different markets. You know, we got Japan, America, and obviously Korea. Very
does not
interesting.
only have music labels, but also a social network division and a business division.
Yep. You stand. They're really taking over everything if you really think about it. They have their own streaming platform with which a lot of us go see their live streams, Weavers. So they really are hitting every single. They really don't need to outsource to anybody if you really think about it. They got it all.
division that has an
Smart.
education
Wow.
division and a video content division. Saying that there is a family of HYBE artists would be like saying that there is a family of Cacao artists, which is also an umbrella company with way more divisions than HYBE. But although Cacao has 150 artists under its umbrella, no one talks about a Cacao family. People only talk about HYBE family because Big Hit used to be just a label, and not any label, but BTS's label. And the rebranding of Big Hit as HYBE made a lot of people believe that artists from other labels part of HYBE are part of the family BTS is from, but they are not. They are all from different labels. And even if the HYBE family was a thing, we would also have to include artists from HYBE America like Justin Bieber or Ariana Grande, but they are never part of the HYBE family conversation because they are not K-pop and they don't share anything in common with other HYBE artists. So if they are not considered part of the HYBE family, then artists are common with other HYBE artists. So if they are
They have Demi Lovato and what's his name? I forgot. He's a reggaeton artist from Colombia. I forgot his name
not
though.
considered part of the HYBE family, then artists under other labels part of HYBE Corporation shouldn't be either. So what about a Big Hit family? This would make a lot more sense since the 3 artists part of Big Hit actually had a family photo shoot. But are they similar in any way? Big Hit artists do have one common factor, but this factor is not a sound, a style of dance, or look. It's authenticity. And hear me out before you call me a company stan, because even if you hate Big Hit or HYBE, you may agree with me. What differentiates Big Hit artists with artists under other HYBE labels and other labels in general is the way in which they prioritize the artist and their art instead of other superficial factors. Big Hit finds artists willing to grow as artists and does not only let them grow, but also encourages them to grow.
I can't wait to hear this and read this, but I think that is one of the best things that you can do, especially to an artist, because we've heard so many stories of artists that have really suffered because they're not able to be creative or even, have their creative process when it comes to, you know, writing their story within music. It's kind of crazy because we hear about this a lot, and especially with bigger companies, they're always talking about how they're controlled, they need to put music, they have a certain amount of time to do the music and stuff like that. But it seems like the high labels is more of an open thing, and I feel like that's more constructive because you're really letting them be who they want to be, because everyone is going through different changes and different moments in their life, and it's cool that if they're feeling a little sad, it's like, oh, they're gonna make a sad song. It's okay, feel that song and let us know how you feel. Be soulful with it, and just expressive with it, and it just goes with different feelings that you're having and stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and I really applaud HYBE because this is very unheard of. And just like BTS, where this group is so unheard of, as well as them individually is so unheard of, we got HYBE, that's a big company now that is behind them, that is very unheard of for them to let them be creative and be pushing them to be better. Isn't that crazy? That's amazing.
하이브라는 회사는
And HYBE is well known to help artists become successful only in the management process.
원래 예술가들의 자율성을 건드리지 않고 경영적인 프로세스에 있어서만 좋은 회사가
without touching their autonomy of their artistic originality. You see what I'm saying? How beautiful would it be if we were to get real, emotions in songs? That's why some people, like let's say like they would say back in the days that Keisha Cole, this is a singer from the US, that she would only make good music when she would break up with someone. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy that you're almost put in that category. But with him and them, with HYBE, they're more of like, if you're feeling happy today, make a happy song. If you're feeling sad, it's okay, let's make that song. If you feel like a dance, make that song. love that.
되도록 도와주는 회사라는 건 이미 잘
Love
알려진 사실이라서
This creates unique artists, not the same typical K-pop group over and over again.
Yes.
BTS has 3 rappers that started as rappers, not just pretty faces that were told to rap because they cannot sing. These rappers had experience composing and producing before debuting in BTS. Big Hit also chose 4 singers that represent 4 different singing styles. Ihyun is a soloist who was previously part of vocal-focused groups, so as a soloist, he releases strong ballads with deep lyrics.
Wow. I look-y want to check him out. Do you guys know about him? Let me know in the comments, please.
His music is also targeted at an older South Korean audience. TXT is also a group, but they are nothing like BTS. Even though it's common for K-pop groups to have rappers, TXT does not have an official rapper because none of them actually have a rap background. But they are not a vocal group either. Unlike BTS and Ihyun, they don't have previous producing experience, but they are extremely encouraged to grow as artists.
You know how much trust you have to put in a group that doesn't have those type of backgrounds after having someone like BTS? And I like the fact that they're not comparing, HYBE is not comparing TXT or any future artists that are gonna eventually sign with them with BTS. It's like, you guys are who you are, BTS is who they are, completely separate. We believe in you, let's do this. I like that. Because imagine if, like, really imagine if this company was so like closed off that it's like, we have BTS, we need to make another BTS, which we saw a video like that other companies tried to replicate. It's never gonna happen. This is a once in a lifetime group. These are individuals that were born for this and they made it to the utmost highest achievements to where, you know what I'm saying, like they've made it. So there's not ever going to be a person like them because they're so unique in their own ways, you know?
May be an obvious encouragement, but most K-pop labels prefer having control on their group's artistic decisions. This is why it's extremely common for K-pop performers to not compose or even choose the music that will be part of their discography. So in a way, Big Hit Music maintain their old mission, creating music and artists for healing.
야유의 성대한 막을 올렸습니다.
Most K-pop groups under HYBE labels don't follow Big Hit's mission statement of creating music and artists for healing. For example, ENHYPEN is a K-pop boy group under the label Belief Lab, which is part of HYBE labels. But although they are associated with Big Hit's group TXT, ENHYPEN follows most K-pop rules. They are considered performers more than artists involved in their music. Their artistic decisions are the label's ideas. Across their 2 studio albums and 3 EPs, only one member has been credited for contributing in the songwriting process of one song. On the other hand, although they just started, and whether you think the lyrics are good or bad, TXT had all these writing or producing credits in their first 2 years. One of them even wrote for ENHYPEN before ENHYPEN had the chance to write for themselves. So although the HYBE family idea is enforced here, there is not a significant artistic factor that makes them similar. However, another label absorbed by HYBE, which apparently tries to follow Big Hit, or more specific, BTS's message, is Source Music. Source Music used to have a group named G-Friend, and according to the G-Friend members themselves, they started having artistic liberties only when Source Music joined HYBE labels. After Source Music disbanded their 6-member girl group G-Friend, they debuted the 6-member girl group Les Seraphim. This new girl group has a fearless
That's how you guys been telling me about both of these guys to check them out as well. I never knew how to say their name.
The 6-member girl group Les Seraphim.
Les Seraphim. Les Seraphim. Les Seraphim.
Their 6-member girl group G-Friend, they debuted the 6-member girl group Les Seraphim. This new girl group has a fearless concept, which aligns to one of BTS's main messages of self-acceptance and empowerment. The difference is that BTS reached their empowerment message by themselves. If you want to be really specific, RM and Suga did. It was an obvious conclusion by the way they've been writing about the subject over the years. On the other hand, it can be seen in the Les Seraphim documentary that the Les Seraphim members were sat down and explained with a PowerPoint presentation the fearless concept that they will have to interpret. Another label.
So they were kind of told to do that. They were told to do that. So it wasn't like something that was in their... Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize that we weren't watching it. Let's go back a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's go
to
back
follow
that way.
Big Hit.
So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting.
Or more specific, BTS's message is Source Music. Source Music used to have a group named G-Friend, and according to the G-Friend members themselves, they started having artistic liberties only when Source Music joined HYBE labels. After Source Music disbanded their 6-member girl group G-Friend, they debuted the 6-member girl group Les Seraphim. This new girl group has a fearless concept, which aligns to one of BTS's main messages of self-acceptance and empowerment. The difference is that BTS reached their empowerment message by themselves. If you want to be really specific, RM and Suga did. It was an obvious conclusion by the way they've been writing about the subject over the years. On the other hand, it can be seen in the Les Seraphim documentary that the Les Seraphim members were sat down and explained with a PowerPoint presentation the fearless concept that they will have to interpret. Another label part of HYBE that followed Big Hit's principle of authenticity is Adore, which debuted the girl group New Jeans. Their fresh, unique concept and their
You guys been telling me about them too.
is Adore, which debuted the girl group New Jeans. Their fresh, unique concept and their lack of noise music, which is very popular in K-pop, has made a lot of K-pop fans associate them with Big Hit artists. More specifically, they associate their fictional storyline with BTS and TXT's fictional storyline that runs throughout their music videos. However, although their label Adore enjoys the privilege of debuting their first group under HYBE Corporation, they don't like recognizing it, nor even to give the New Jeans girls some credit. Adore's CEO Min Hee-jin used to be the chief marketing officer at SM Entertainment, and you can tell. She has the mindset of other K-pop labels where they take all the credit from the creative projects. She said that she was the one making all the artistic decisions for New Jeans, and basically that New Jeans' success is her success.
Jesus. Can't even give the artist some credit. What?
New Jeans' album was her long dream album. This is the music she had in mind. New Jeans' music is her music, the music of the producer Min Hee-jin. She selected the songs and she ordered them on the EP.
Oof, I could only imagine her as a boss. I'm not gonna lie. Always on you, making sure like, you know, the bombastic side eye, like, hey, what do you like, dude? What? That's crazy.
True or not, this wouldn't be Big Hit's strategy to promote a group, because that makes the K-pop performers look like puppets who don't have any artistic liberties. And yes, the New Jeans members may be too young to be expected to compose full songs or to have a strong musical personality and vision. Comparing them to BTS's debut when they were around New Jeans' age wouldn't be too fair, because BTS has an extraordinary journey in the music world. But TXT also debuted at a very young age, and they were still encouraged to find their own sound and become artists. This can be reflected in TXT's subtle but honest music shifts. So New Jeans may have a musical style that is refreshing in the K-pop industry. Their concept is different, and it has successfully attracted a great part of BTS's audience. But this sound and concept will not feel authentic to these girls if their label keeps taking the entire credit.
Yeah, I think that's what either is gonna break them, or they won't make it higher than what they should be, because then the audience is going to start saying, well, they're not really, this is not what they're really feeling. They're not really going through this. This is just them singing about somebody else's life, instead of giving us that raw, you know, entrance to get to know them as artists. I think that's very, very important for any artist, to be a little vulnerable and let us in to get to know you, and that's how you get that connection with your audience. You know what I'm saying?
Even if the New Jeans girls wrote one line in a song, which by the way they did, that's still something the CEO should be celebrating. But her words make the New Jeans members feel interchangeable. Since New Jeans is the CEO's vision, any other girls can be part of New Jeans. The special New Jeans factor does not come from the members, it comes from the executives. This is highly unlikely to happen
crazy.
with Big Hit artists. Their quote-unquote brand is authenticity. So why would they give the label more credit than the artists themselves?
Why do you want SM Entertainment when the management wants to go in a different direction.
As a last-minute addition to this video, it looks like despite a lot of tension between SM and HYBE, there is a high probability that HYBE will become SM's biggest shareholders. So many assume that SM will be one of the labels part of HYBE in a way. But even if this does happen, the SM family will keep being the SM family because there are obvious common factors between SM performers. In any case, they will remain as a separate label from Big Hit, just like Source Music is a separate label from Big Hit, despite all of them being part of HYBE. In the end, my point remains. The different HYBE labels and their artists don't have much in common artistically between them. If you really want to buy the forced idea of a label family, do it with the actual label families, not with a corporation that has shares in these labels.
But I think that's pretty good though, because you're pretty much hitting different markets, because not everybody's gonna enjoy, because I'm not gonna lie, like I've heard this from people, because there's people that don't understand, let's say TXT or Cordis or even BTS. They're not gonna understand this kind of music because K-pop is more of a pop sound. And a lot of the people, it could be whether it's Latinos, it could be, black, it doesn't matter what it is, they're not going to be used to this kind of sound. So to them, it's kind of like, oh, like, I don't want to hear that Britney Spears stuff. I don't want to do this. And I've heard this plenty of times. And to me, it's just like, like, it's a little bit, it's kind of cool to have different kinds of artists, that will eventually attract people to HYBE labels, and then they could go ahead and go down the rabbit hole and see what other artists are in HYBE labels, because that's pretty much what's happening with us. But we did start with BTS, and BTS is amazing. But we went to the HYBE label, YouTube channel. We started checking out different artists just to see what kind of music they're offering. And we're able to find a lot of really talented individuals, I'm not going to lie. But like I said, most people are not going to give them a chance only because they automatically think K-pop. And that's not something that's really heard of out here, other than recently because of the whole Demon Hunters K-pop, Netflix movie. But other than that, there's really not been a lot of talks about it. You know what I'm saying? So very interesting. But I do like what they're doing.
So is the HYBE family a thing? In terms of business, it may be. There are many HYBE events and interactions that prove it does, but it's not the same as actual label families. Source Music has a vision for their artists that is different from Ador's vision, that it's different from Pledis' vision, that it's different from Belief Lab's vision, that it's different from Big Hit's vision.
But I think that's a good thing, to be honest, to have different visions. Because these are different artists. This is different groups. This is different styles of music. So I think it's okay to have these different visions.
To say that there's a HYBE dancing style or a HYBE sound like K-pop fans do with other labels would be pointless because it's not true. HYBE has many labels with different sounds and styles. Some of these labels try to follow Big Hit's mission of authenticity, but others don't. Some labels under HYBE strictly follow the K-pop system, but other labels don't. This is why it's very hard to find real HYBE competitions, because the decisions made by Big Hit executives are different from the decisions made by Source Music executives. What does happen a lot is that BTS fans army end up becoming casual listeners or even fans of other HYBE groups that follow Big Hits, or to be more specific, BTS's message, concept, or authenticity. There's some fan crossover with BTS and groups like Les Seraphim, New Jeans, 17, and TXT, but it's not as common as with other labels. Actually, what I've noticed is that if one of these groups' music starts getting closer to quote-unquote noise music, armies will not be very supportive. So in the end, there's no unconditional love and support by ARMY for the supposed HYBE family. What matters and what should matter the most is the music, not a family created by business decisions, but the artists themselves and the art they create.
For the rest of my life.
V's voice is so soulful. But yeah, so I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Let me listen to that part again because I had something to say, but then V's voice just kind of threw me off
love and
because it was so amazing.
support by ARMY for the supposed HYBE family. What matters and what should matter the most is the music. Not a family created by business decisions, but the artists themselves and the art they create.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. So I was just going to say that I really lost my train of thought. Jesus
The
Christ.
supposed HYBE family. What matters and what should matter the most is the music. Not a family created by business decisions, but the artists themselves and the art they create.
So I think I was going to say something along the lines of like, that I'm more of a type of person that likes to listen to music and likes to check out artists for their art. Because like I said, whether it's any type of genre, it doesn't matter what kind of music it is. If it sounds good to me, I'm going to really enjoy it and listen to it and add it to my playlist. My playlist, if you see it, is literally all over the place. It goes from rap to LA sounds to now BTS to individual BTS artists to rock to country to reggaeton. My playlist is all over the place. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't have a set playlist. I just like to listen to different things because it's just something that it gives me good vibes. So whatever gives me good vibes, it doesn't matter who it's from, to be honest. As long as it's good, I mess with it. So I like this. I like this. I like the whole HYBE family thing that they have going on where they're presenting us with different sounds, different artists, and it's good that they don't have the same vision because no one's gonna be duplicated. It could even be new jeans. If they have a certain type of thing that they're trying to reach and they're just themselves, that's never gonna be able to be duplicated or replicated. So little by little, we're gonna start getting into these artists. Hopefully you guys are excited about that as well because I do want to start checking them out as well. Obviously it's gonna be added on to this. So let's say I'm reacting to a BTS song or a few BTS songs, we're gonna add that video as well, like in the same day type thing. So because there's so much of BTS to cover that I don't want to stop reacting to BTS because I feel like we've only hit the surface. We haven't even got to nothing. We're like barely there. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below what other HYBE family artists you guys are listening to that we should start checking out. It'll be great. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace, peace, peace.